So this is how you transform drawing 3D objects into actually drawing a room. So you're going to start like you did yesterday. You're going to start with a dot that's just somewhere near the center of the paper. And then you're going to use your ruler, not necessarily measuring anything, but just using it to draw straight lines. And you are going to draw a rectangle around the dot. Make sure you're doing a good job getting your lines to be horizontal and vertical, parallel to the edges of the paper. So this is going to become your room. This is the back wall of your room, and we're about to add the floor, ceiling, and side walls. So you're going to get your ruler, line it up with the vanishing point, and then the corner of the back wall, and draw a line that goes not only to the corner, but then extends all the way to the edge of the page. And you're going to do that with every corner. And you will see these lines do not touch the corners of your paper. They just touch the corners of the box. And then I'm going to erase what's inside the box and only leave what is outside the box. So now you have the back wall of your room, the ceiling, the floor, and both side walls. So you're going to figure out what the first thing you want to add in your room is. It's going to depend on what kind of room you're making, but I'm just going to go ahead and start with a bed. So you're going to do like you did yesterday, start with a low rectangle. Put it about right here. And you make it pretty long, but not too tall. Okay, then you're going to connect all of your corners to the vanishing point, just like yesterday. And then again, just like yesterday, you are going to create a smaller version of this rectangle that is higher up on the page. So you're going to start with this top line, okay, because this top line connects to this line and this line. I'm going to draw another perfectly horizontal line that connects this line to this line. Then I'm going to create a vertical line that connects this line to mirror this one. Then the same thing over here on this side. I need to make another copy of this line that connects here to here. And then I just need to connect the bottom. After that, I can erase what I don't need anymore, starting with the front. So I'm going to erase everything that is inside the front. Then I'm going to erase everything that's in this side over here. And then I'm going to erase everything that's inside the top. Then I have something that looks solid, and I can just erase off these trailing little lines over here that I don't need. And for the sake of the video, I'm going to outline this in pen, but you do not need to do that. This is just so that it shows up a little bit more on the video. Okay, and then you have something that can be turned into a bed. Once you have the basic shape, you can go in and add some shapes that don't conform to this one. So like if I wanted to add a pillow, I can do it using kind of rounded lines like this, because pillows are not something that are typically kind of block shaped. If I wanted to add like a little blanket draping here, something like that. If I wanted to add a pattern on it or whatever, even if you wanted to, you could go back and you could kind of round off the edges of the bed so it doesn't look quite so sharp. You could put like little feet on it if you wanted to. So that's how to draw a bed. Any other object, you're going to start basically the same way. You're going to think about what the side profile of that object looks like, and then you're going to draw it. It could be a rectangle, it could be a square, it could be a tall rectangle. If I wanted to do maybe like a dresser over here, I could start by doing a tall rectangle. Then connect my corners. Then mimic my lines. Vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, and then erase. Like I told you yesterday, you may eventually get to the point where you can see what the object should look like before you draw it, and you no longer need to draw every single line and erase them. You may just be able to draw just the lines that you actually need to draw, and that's totally fine. Because this object is taller than me, I cannot see the top of it, so you don't see the top of it like you do with the bed. Now, if I wanted to add some details on here, like maybe if I wanted to make this into a dresser so that it has drawers, if it's on the original side, the side that's just a rectangle, I can just draw a drawer just like normal. However, if it is on this side, I have to add details that go to the vanishing point. So I would start with like a vertical line right here, and then connect the corners to the vanishing point. And then make another vertical line to be the side. And that's how I would create my drawers. And I would do the same thing the whole way down. You'll notice every time I'm moving my ruler so that it stays connected to the vanishing points. Otherwise, it will not look right when you're done. And then I just add a vertical line on each one to make the other side. That's one of the most important things to remember. If it is on a side where the lines are vertical and horizontal, the details will be vertical and horizontal. If it is on a side where the lines are vertical and vanishing points, the details will be vertical and vanishing points. To do an object that's flat, meaning it's not three-dimensional, it doesn't come into the room, you start kind of in the same way, but instead of starting with a whole square or rectangle, you just start with one line. So if I wanted to make a window on this wall, just do one line. Then I would connect those corners to the vanishing point. And then I would do another vertical line. If I wanted this to be a window, I wanted to make the little middle line of the window like this. It would go to the vanishing point as well. And then this vertical line would just be regular. The same thing applies if you're doing a rug, except for instead of starting with a vertical line, you start with a horizontal line. Then connect it to the vanishing point. This part of the rug, I want to go under the bed. So I just stop when I get to the bed. And then I'll add another horizontal line back here. And then erase. And that is the basics of what you need to know. If you are doing a three-dimensional object, you start with some sort of rectangle and then connect your corners to the vanishing point. Draw your vertical and horizontal lines and then erase what you don't need anymore. If you are doing a flat object, you simply start with a line, connect the ends of the line to the vanishing point, draw another line, and then erase what you don't need anymore. The main rule that you need to remember is that you can only use 3 kinds of line for this drawing. You can't use anything else. You can use vertical lines. Those vertical lines have to be perfectly parallel to the edge of the paper. You can use horizontal lines, and those have to be perfectly parallel to the top and bottom of the paper, like these right here. And you can use vanishing point lines, and those are diagonal lines that touch the vanishing point. You can't have any random diagonal lines. They all have to point to the vanishing point.